Hey guys, welcome to the Heart of David. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm not having a particular good day, so I want to talk about something in particular that maybe a lot of believers have never been through, and that's physical pain. And what I mean by this is like chronic acute, whatever it is. I have a lot of anxiety right now, and I don't mean social anxiety. I mean this pain that I'm dealing with right now is so bad that it's just disorienting me. I'm going to tell you a story. And good, my oven stopped. Sometimes I go through times of just like a string of bad luck. Just things happen to me out of the blue that usually don't happen to other people. Like what happened with the injection. Like just a lot of stuff like that. What happened with my gums there, and I have a new facial pain disorder. But I'm going to do my best to wrap a biblical message in this, though. This video is geared towards people who have a lot of pain, because that's probably one of the reasons why I have my channel. And you know, every person that does a video for God and for themselves too, for other people, right? Each one has their own story of where they came from, or what type of pain, whether it was emotional, where they came from. And so mine just happens to be the very top levels of pain. So I don't know what I'll put in my title. I'll tell you a story of why I am where I am right at this very second. And you're gonna have to give me a second, guys. I woke up very sick today. I don't like talking about I don't like talking about physical illness, but it's part of my life. And if I didn't talk about it, I probably, you know, I would still have things to talk about. I could tackle a lot of biblical messages, a lot of those types of studies, but I also want to give people hope in the worst of the worst. My pain here right now is probably at a 9.5. And if it went up another degree, I don't know if I could make a video. It would be very tough. So I put out my back in 8 places, and it was healing, and it was getting good. And but I knew to be careful, right? To, you know, don't think you can do this or do that. Like start lifting things that are too heavy and stuff. I have multiple intractable pain disorders, the pain suicide diseases. I'm not going to go through them. I have a lot of them. And so as you know, I before I went on this motorcycle course, so hard to think. You see my videos, you know, there are times where you don't see me. And trying to study, trying to read, and trying to do that type of stuff is just almost completely fruitless. I'll go through a paragraph 10 times and I still won't understand it. That's the type of pain I have. There's something called pain dementia. It's not real dementia. It's just a comparison that people who have certain levels of pain forget things all the time. Worse than ADHD. Much worse. Try getting someone to concentrate who has adhesive arachnoiditis that is untreated or very poorly treated, and that's where I was. I have very severe abdominal pain because my back is pulled again, and it's affecting my abdomen. Okay, so I had some really bad luck. You know, I got a denture above and below to give me all my teeth back. So I had some teeth removed, and they were good teeth, but they were teeth that had been built on, you know, like root canals and stuff. So they said it's better to have those 4 teeth taken out and have this so they have something to grab onto. Okay, that's what I said. I wish I never did. And my concern beforehand was, could I end up with facial pain? I don't know if I sprained my jaw from keeping my mouth open too long. And I had a gum infection that came on so quickly. Not from something that was wrong with me, it was from, I don't know, it just came on real quick. I went through absolute hell. That's the top level of pain you can get in your face. And worse than a dry socket. But like, all picture dry sockets everywhere, every single tooth. That's what this was like. I'm giving you a description of brutality. Life is very hard sometimes. And I mostly keep this stuff to myself. What do you do? What do you do when this stuff just continues and continues and continues? But the next part is my fault. It is my fault. All my life I drove when I was younger, and then I had my license removed because of medical reasons, and then I ended up permanently disabled for I couldn't walk for 10 years, and so anyways, I was getting my G1 back. I got that maybe 5 months ago or so, and I'm like, hey, if I could probably afford a motorcycle, right? And why not just go write that test? I went. The next month I passed it. You know, I have enough money to buy a motorcycle. Okay, you know, that'd be good enough for me. I could probably carry things on there too. So I bought a street bike. And I'm glad I did. But one of the ways that, don't worry, I'll come to this message. Just give me a sec. God's strength is made perfect in weakness. And that's why I'm coming on here like this. I woke up, I can't even touch my face. So, I mean, like my chewing muscle all the way from here, all the way down, and it's spread. Now it's on this side. It wasn't on this side before. I can't even touch above my ear here. Like, whoa, man, what is that? Like, that wasn't there before, and suddenly it's like I can't even touch that part of my temple. So I got that, and where I live, I live of all the places in the entire world, Ontario, where I live, has the worst insurance rates. It has the worst rules. It's just unfortunate for me. So when you get your M1, you know, you're expected that, you know, you have restrictions, but they let you drive your bike. Well, not really anymore. No one will really insure you because people are stupid on their street bikes and bikes in general when they're young and stuff. But I found a place, and he said, I had to look a lot. He said, if you show me that you're going to try a motorcycle training course, I will insure you a month ahead, so you'll have a month of practice, which I did. But then you have to take the MSF course, which is 9 hours a day, so over 2 days over the weekend, a Saturday and a Sunday. And I'm the type of person that, despite the things I go through, I know that I can't get anywhere if I don't do certain things. I live alone. I live alone. I'm alone. I really need this. Like it'd be nice to have my own transportation. And so, you know, I just remember buying that rider's training course. Just sitting at it, I'm like, should I do this? I know if I click it, then I'll have to do it. And I did it. And so I practiced. I was getting pretty good at riding by myself over that month. And yeah, I had anxiety about going, but it wasn't about people. It wasn't about that. That's not what it was about. It was about my physical conditions. I'd put out my back, which was probably my worst fear. It was just getting better. And I knew this was going to be intensive. Get on your bike, get off your bike, get on your bike, go through slalom courses, do this, do that, do this task. Like, you're on your bike 50% of the time. So picture being on your bike for 9 hours, doing intensive stuff. You're handling the bike a lot. But so I had to build up a lot of courage to go with. And if you say a lot of courage, well, you don't understand what I suffer with. You know, like I have a brachial plexus that will never heal in my shoulder. My neck is torn. My whole sternocleidomastoid muscle, those things never heal. Those two things will never heal. You know, adhesive arachnoiditis with degenerative disc disease and intractable full body CRPS-like disorder of my whole body. There's more. And so I'll stop there. To give you an idea, adhesive arachnoiditis, man, like that's the worst disorder there is of the lower back and legs. Never mind my abdominal pain disorders. So there was a lot I had to look at, you know, like I really need this. It'll really help me in the long run. And of course I had that worry, and I don't think anyone in that position, I don't think really many people would ever do that. But I'm used to pain, I'm used to all that type of stuff, so I went anyways. And I went there, I only had 3 hours of sleep. And I just remember being there in the morning, and I kind of felt cursed because I only had 3 hours sleep. I was so tired. It was so cold in the morning. We're all standing there, and I was so tired that I felt like I was going to pass out. I just remember, you're in front of 20 people. You're in a circle. Everyone's talking. You're in a course. And I was standing up, and I felt I had one of those. I guess you call it a heart condition. It causes flutter, okay? And you feel like you're having a massive adrenaline rush. And tiredness will bring that on. And so will stress. And I felt like I was going to pass out and have one of those things. And to cover up, I had to get on my crouch down, pretending that I was just crouching down to rest. I was going through a lot of hell, man. I made it through the 2 days. There were times where I was on that bike and I'm thinking, like, I feel like I'm going to die. I hope I don't pass out on this bike, because if I drop this bike, they might kick me out. Give me a sec. After the end of 2 days, I don't know, I think I was able to hold myself well. There was a test and there was 8 things you had to pass. And if there was 20 of us, there was probably around 20 of us, you're in a motorcycle line, and everyone was watching you do the test, like in real time, you know, like it wasn't people were over here and there. No, everyone was watching you to see if you had passed this part, and then the next person would go, the next person would go. And I just remember waiting in this line, and it was the longest line of those 2 days. And just sitting there, it helped me if I was able to move, but if I was still, you know, you got to keep your helmet on for a long time. Remember, my upper back was out. A helmet, if you can put your upper back out. And there I was standing, and they said, if during the test, the Ontario Motor of Transport Ontario says that, not that they wanted to adhere by these rules, but during the test, if for any reason you drop the bike, you fail. I knew very well I could pass every test, I could ace it. There was nothing wrong with my riding. And but I was standing there in line, in this motorcycle line, with all the exhaust, you know, coming up, and I felt like sensory processing disorder with autism. It was really bothering me, and I just altogether felt like I was going to pass out. And I thought, well, you did all this to get to this point, keep the bike up. It was hot. I had a full racing suit on because they make you wear gear. And anyways, so I passed at the end. I couldn't wait to go. At the end of each day, I can't even begin to tell you, there'd be pain up the back of my head, in my face, and from whatever permanent face disorder, I said, I hope it's gone within a month, within a couple of weeks, whatever. Say a prayer for me, please. My face would be in level 10 pain, as bad as it gets. My dad picked me up. I couldn't wait to get home, take my pain meds, eat some food. I felt like death. The type of pain that I have can make you feel like you're dying, quite a lot. And so I passed it. And my license, when you get your M1, it only lasts for 90 days, and you have to go for your test. But you can do your test through that MSF course, and it's easier to pass that way. And I did that way because it's better on insurance. And so you have to time it in such a way that you can only pick up your card, like you know, like you have to upgrade your M1 to an M2. And the way I timed mine was, well, I timed it perfectly so that when I passed, I could go and get my card. So it was after 61 days. And so the place where, I know this is dragging on, I'm going to get to it, don't worry. There's so much more about what I went through that I'm actually writing it down in a Word document, because it is worth hearing. Now, I'm not going to say it on this channel, I'll probably say it on another channel. So, probably a stupid move, but I wasn't cognizant of what, my back was pretty much healed. The next day I woke up after the second day, after the course was done. I felt pretty good in the morning. I didn't feel any problems in my back. But then as the day went along, I started to get really, really tired. Something was starting to happen. And, you know, it was just like some delayed type of reaction, but I didn't know what. If I wanted to pick up that card, like I wanted to get on my motorcycle and go and get it down here in Ottawa. But I had been there 3 different times. Each time it was like 2 to 4 hours wait. So I'm like, no way. I can go to a different place out of town, both there and back, maybe an hour and a half ride. And so I decided to do that. In one place I got lost. That was so stupid. And it was because I just missed a simple road sign. I went like 30 kilometers further, so it was much longer. I was really upset. Got down into this place. I just don't want to say the names, I guess, but because it's a lot shorter wait. You can look on the computer, see their shorter waits. And I went, and of course it got confused with another place because there's two places that, I don't know, there's like a Service Ontario and an MTO place. Of course, I was directed to the Service Ontario first. I felt like I was dying in this place, and I was like, I don't know, maybe 60 or 70 kilometers away from my house. I come back, and I'd been on my bike, sustained on the highway, sustained for, say, an hour and a half, driving maybe 85 or 90, and I didn't like strain my back in the way of pulling it, but it re-aggravated it to the maximal pain in my back. That's the price I had to pay to get that. For you, that might be something exciting to do all that, to take your motorcycle course over 2 days, but you don't have terminal cancer equivalent pain. But I had to do that because I needed my automotive freedom. So now, yesterday I woke up in hell, today I woke up in hell. My face, my neck, my upper back is repulled in my traps. It's coming up the back of my head. It's probably making my face worse. And then it's in my mid back again. So it's in 4 places this time that are just repulled. Just give me a sec. I'm literally just a number of days away from starting university, and that's going to be, who knows, maybe 4 hours a day reading. 4 hours a day reading, that's a lot. I'm the studying type, though. I do like that stuff, and I know there's volunteer work I want to do too, pertaining to the thing that I'm taking, addictions counseling. But I'm in a place, there's a lot of stress. I chose these things. Some of these things happened to me that were not my fault, like my face. What do I do now? What do you do when you're so, the way I feel, yes, I understand and I accept the things that I have, and I understand I have limitations, and I'm not afraid to say what those are. I have a lot of limitations. Sometimes I pretend I don't to myself, and I would have been a lot better if I had never hurt my back. Boy, that has really taken a lot out of me. There have been times where I just completely broke down. That's all I'll say about that. And this will make, what I'm going through right now would make a normal person go to the hospital every single day, if they could even make it there. That's the type of pain. None of these things I could have done without having faith in Jesus Christ. You see, God uprooted me from my family home. My mother had died, and I didn't get along with my dad in close quarters. That's understandable, right? I'm like almost 40 years old then. And, it's almost looking like I'll need palliative care. In 2015, I certainly was very close. But God had other ideas. It was just the simple fact that I didn't know what my pain disorders were, and there were quite a few of them. I did feel cursed about that, because I had gone to all those appointments, and nothing I complained about was incorrect. But he uprooted me and brought me here and showed me that there were many things that he was going to show me, like my diagnosis. Little by little, when I look back, despite how I feel right now, despite the hell of burning and just bone aching, grinding, I still look back and I remember where I was. It was a horrible place, man. I tell people to stay in shape, eat well. I know how to teach people how to rehabilitate their entire body, because I did it. And it's for times like these, right? I still did my workout this morning. I just didn't lift anything. When I moved in here, the only thing I wanted to do was to go and die. The pain diseases that I have, adhesive arachnoiditis, a lot of people do go that way. I mean, like assisted death. That's what this does. It's called the devil's disease, or then the disease of no hope. It's mostly in the lower back and legs. It can happen higher in your spine, but I managed to get better. And that's not the one that really bothers me. You see me walk back and forth? That's the pain in my legs and my lower back and in my butt. A lot of burning. Feels like there's oil being poured over your legs. Stabs. They call them like a scorpion sting, because that's what it feels like all day long. You have wicked shocks going up your body, like a sciatic shock, but worse. Cramps. Sorry guys, I got a pace because of my back. It's easy to say it right now. I may go through another 2 weeks of this. I may wake up tomorrow and it may... See, I didn't lift anything heavy, okay? So I didn't re-pull it in that manner. I just kind of strained it from being in certain positions. But it's still here, and you can probably see it on my face. But God has taught me that this too shall pass. Now, I'm not fearing, okay? That's not what I'm doing, and I don't want you, when you're in these situations, to fear either. Before, I would have been fighting towards assisted death. This is my case. If you, I don't, that's not at all what I'm trying to speak about here. I'm giving you my own life. There was nothing in that type of pain that I wanted to live for until I found Jesus Christ. I've always believed in him, but I wasn't born again, and I didn't have the faith part, which is a big part. Be anxious for nothing, I mean, but by prayer and supplication. What does that mean if you're in such debilitating, overwhelming pain where when someone speaks to you face to face, literally, when they turn their head and walk away, you forget what they said? And I'm about to go into university. I look back where I was, and when I say this too shall pass, I understand I did this myself, not my face, but my back. I'm not saying I deserve it. I try to do things like normal people do, so I can live a somewhat normal life too. And He's blessed me with things that I don't even know how to explain to you. You have to be in my position to understand. And I'm sure in your position, which I'm not in, I am nothing. I am nothing. I understand that. I'm not saying I am nothing like you get what I mean. I'm not anything special. And I don't mean Calvinism. God loves us. And there's certain things that God loves in each one of us. So what do you do when you get in these times where it's so overwhelming, where you feel like giving up, right? I've been in this position more times than I even know. I couldn't count them. It's happened a lot of times. I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations that have to do a lot with physical pain. And of course it has an emotional toll. And I've been through a lot of emotional stuff as well. Right now it's physical. You may say, well, doesn't that take an emotional toll? What about those other emotional things you're talking about that you suffer with? Even in this pain that I'm suffering with, I don't feel a need to please other people. I don't feel, I keep moving forward. I'm not afraid I'm not ashamed. And the reason is because of Jesus Christ. Going through that course and knowing that I was not well, the only thing that pushed me forward was knowing that I was standing there and doing it because of Him. Because otherwise, if I didn't have Him, I probably wouldn't have done it. I probably would have passed out on the ground. I haven't had a lot of good luck in my life. I haven't. But God sure has blessed me despite the things that I suffer with. And so I can rejoice in those things that He has, even if for just a short amount of time. There's a lot of things that I go through that I don't tell you about. But I don't want to make everything sad, right? So I'll get to, that was really the biblical message of this. So if it's pain, which I'm specifically talking about now in this video, so I'm speaking to people who are going through absolute hell and have trouble wondering, what do I do? What do I do? Or people that this just keeps happening to over and over, and you just have a bad life physically. You never feel well. Well, that'd be reading the Bible if you can. If you're saved, if you're truly saved, if you're born again, then you have something inside you that will not fail you. That's Jesus Christ, and it's an awesome feeling. I mean, that's an awesome power. It's an unbeatable power in the worst that this fleshly life can do to you and I. So now what do I do in the position that I'm in? I ice my back. I wait. I lessen up my workout. Don't lift anything heavy to I don't lift heavy weights. I'm in my mid 40s, so I read the studies for people who are my age. I think it's people over 40. The studies say that a full body workout. So you don't have to do whatever you want, but just what I'm saying. You know, when you're older, getting older, you know, when you're over 40 years old, you're going to notice you're going to start getting maybe a disc issue here and wear and tear on your joints, some degeneration in some faucet joint or some your discs, whatever. And so where I am right now, what's the only thing I can do? I can keep in prayer in my thoughts, mnemonic, and say that out loud, but to treat it and to wait. It's the only thing I can do. I'll just finish off by saying this, that in my previous life, what I mean is when my pain was so overwhelming that there was no hope. Like I said, one of my pain diseases was nicknamed the disease of no hope. Think about that. That I would revert back to things like suicide. I no longer do that. Admittedly, there are times where I have maybe like 4 or even 5, it can be longer than that, but particularly 4 or 5 really brutal days. And you're just like, that I do say, when I lie back in bed at night, I say, please Lord, take me in this night, or please come. I don't mean that suicide, and I'm not suicidal, and I will never endorse that. It's not the way to go. This is why my channel is different, I think, than a lot of other channels, because of physical pain. And if I was in Calvinism, I would call myself a piece of crap. I'm just kidding. No, I don't believe in that. And I'm not saying people who believe in Calvinism there are brothers and sisters, right? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That's what I have to say today. This is why I ask you to pray for me, because you know what? I know that prayers are the most powerful thing. People will laugh at that. They have no idea. They have no idea.